never in a completely comfortable or secure place.
Rally driving is not for the faint-hearted.
Unfortunately, the car caught fire.
I don't normally think of women doing it.
It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman inside the car. Whoever's the fastest wins. My name's Molly Taylor and I'm a rally driver.
Molly Taylor on the chase.
I guess for me, I was surrounded by motorsport since I can remember. My mum and dad both competed, and it was my mum who was competing at a national level as her full-time job. So she spent probably 6 months of the year away. That's what I thought everyone's mums did. My mum's won 4 Australian titles as a co-driver. She's been on, I think, around 97 podiums across the country, and she was also the first woman to be inducted into the Australian Motorsport Hall of Fame.
Long right forward, tighten the middle.
My dad was a rally driver, and over dinner he said, I'm going to buy a rally car. I was 18 at the time and I said, oh great, I'll come with you. I didn't really think he would do it. I certainly didn't think I would do it. And a couple of weeks later my life savings were a half share in a rally car. It went pretty abysmally for us, but it did light the fire. I've been rallying for almost 30 years now. Motorsport is very male-dominated, absolutely. When I first started co-driving, the first article that was done and was in the Sydney Morning Herald, the headline was Australia's fastest housewife. That's what they actually put in print, which seems ridiculous.
I certainly doubted myself a lot. I always felt like I had to sort of prove myself.
You know, she was so determined and so focused. She wanted to be a rally driver. So, you know, she went to England. She lived in a barn because it was cheap. She worked on the car herself because she couldn't afford to pay people to work on it. Molly trains pretty much every day and she's always up early every morning. She's out the door probably before the sun's up more often than not.
Biggest reasons why we need to be fit is to be able to maintain concentration in a really uncomfortable environment. So we don't have any air conditioning in the car. In summer it can be 50, 60 degrees inside the cabin. I'm always nervous before a rally. You know you're about to go out there and yeah, put everything on the line.
Initially when she started, I did worry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Our cars essentially are geared to go around 200 kilometres an hour. It's a combination between being on a roller coaster ride, but then also trying to do a ballet dance. You want to push the limits and it's very difficult to push the limits without exceeding them sometimes.
5 right posts, 300.
It is a reality of the sport that you're going to make mistakes, like as in any sport. It's just that when you make mistakes at a high speed in the forest, you want to be in a strong car because that can happen. One of the great things about motorsport across the board is that there's no different categories for gender. Male and female compete on equal footing. Whoever's the fastest wins. What is it like being a female in a male-dominated sport? When the helmet goes on, it's the last thing on your mind and it's a stage time and the stopwatch doesn't have any bias. It's either fast enough or it's not. Now I'm part of the Subaru factory team. Mum has always been part of the Toyota team and essentially we're arch rivals on the events. I've always been a very determined and stubborn, probably more stubborn than anything. There's no guarantees in anything, so you're only as good as your last performance.
Molly was the first female driver to win the Australian Rally Championship, and at the time she was also the youngest ever driver to win the championship. I have a little blue Subaru bracelet that I wear, so even if I was competing in the same event, I would have a little blue bracelet for her. It was my way of barracking for her, even though I was working with the opposition.
For me, I was very fortunate that my biggest role model was my mum. I think it was a good example of what can be possible.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.